Well, hello and welcome back. It is time once again to try to fix something. And today on the workbench we have another PS5 here that does not want to cooperate. Now this one I believe is, I think it's listed, I bought it as a no power. And I do have some power into it. It does not respond to the buttons. I'm pretty sure it has been opened up before because it came with an extra, front panel piece to swap it out with. If you look down to that top right there, that has been replaced and it's not in there properly. You can see how it's popped up. So yeah, somebody's been into it, way into it, and we're not sure what they have done to it. So I'm gonna start getting some covers off and see what we can figure out. All right, well, the side plate is off and I think we know what is happening here just from looking at it. I'm gonna say it's been infested with roaches. Yeah. Yep. So maybe we have a dead power supply due to roaches. I look down at that. Is that going to show up? See if I can get that to focus. Some goodness down in there. Yeah. Oh well, but I'm in it now. So yeah, let's get a little further into it and see if we have a dead power supply. I'm betting we do. Roaches love to go to the power supplies. All right, we are in a little deeper. We can see a few more things, including bodies of dead insects scattered about, which is nasty. It's going to be pretty nasty inside. Not the worst I've seen, but yeah, the heat sink's kind of been up right there, if you can see. So somebody's been into it. They've handled it a little bit rough. Let's just see if we have our 12 volts on this 4-pin connector right here for the Blu-ray, and we do. So our power supply is not dead. We have no signs of life. Okay. Wondering, do we have like a 3.3 or something? So like, there's some resistors right here. I think are pull-ups for the buttons. The power and eject. Probably should have something on them. I'm not seeing anything. So yeah, I need to get this cover off. Looks like we're missing some supply rails, some standby power, 5 volts or something's missing. So let me get a little further into it. Well, I have the circuit board removed. This is an EDM 020 main board, and with a pretty good dry spot on the APU. And I can kind of tell, but when I took it out of the metal frame, I don't think anybody's ever been in here. They haven't been down to the circuit board like this. They may have taken the covers off and whatever, but I don't think they ever went all the way in because it put up a fight. The adhesive of this stuff was holding the pieces together. So I think we're safe on that front. No one's been in here this deep. I think the first thing I'd like to do is check our current draw. I think I got my power supply on over there. Let's just see what our initial current draw is here. Let's see. Positive, negative. Make sure our polarity is correct. All right, let's give it 12 volts and see what she does, shall we? Hmm. 5 milliamps. Oh, that is rather dead. Okay. Let's see. So we're missing some power rails, I would say, at that point. Let's just get the meter out and see what we can figure out. Because something's missing. I'd say a whole lot of something is missing. Turn that off or something. All right. Voltage DC. All right, I'm going to turn the 12 volts back on. And let's just see, look around our RT5126, or this is the dialogue chip. What do we have here? I'm assuming we're getting 5 volts in. We are. Got it on the other side of the fuse? We do. What about 3.3? We do not have 3.3. 1.15 is good. Okay. Trying to remember what this one over here was. Gonna have to pull up my notes on what is there in standby and what's not. All right, we're missing 3.3 though. We can pretty much stop right there. We don't have 3.3. We're not going much further. We turn off the 12 volts. Continuity check. So, is it shorted? 3.3 is not shorted. It's just not there. Do we have some shorts around this IC? That's ground, that's fine. .3 is not being enabled. 1.15 was fine. Our fuse was good because we had, yeah, we're getting something out of this IC. So 3.3 isn't being enabled. Dead Southbridge? It's a possibility. I'm not seeing a short where I would expect to see one. Not seeing one there. Let me look at this under the microscope just a second. I need to see a little bit better. Too much stuff stacked up on my bench. So this is an RT5126. Power is off. I just want to see if we're having a short on any of these pins. Nothing there. Nothing there. None of these are shorted. Nothing here. No shorts. Not even on the output of the 3.3. Now I know I've seen this before. Yeah, I know I've seen this before. Seems like there's a rail on the opposite side of the board there. Yeah, this in here. Here's where that RT5126 is on the other side of the board right here. I just want to check around. I believe this is a 2-point rail, 2 volt, 2.0 volt rail. Right down here below it, opposite side of the board. Nothing shorted. Wait, take that back. Something shorted there. So this may be the input. Is that totally out of focus? This may be the input of it here. And this, no, that's ground right there. That's ground, never mind. This is the output, and it's not shorted. You can see where it goes, you know, up here. I do need to confirm that that is there. That 2 volts is there. And you can see it comes in on one side of the chip of that RT5126. One of these here. One of those. Let me hook my 12 volts back in and just kind of confirm that that is there. Let me check in here. Yeah, 2 volts, exactly 2 volts. So that is good. That is good. And I'm betting that the Southbridge is getting a 1.8 volt supply right now. I'm not sure if you can see it on the top here or not. Nothing there. Nothing there. 1.15. It's getting 1.15 because we know that's up. But I believe if I can turn this over without knocking everything loose. Nope. You know, I shorten my leads together every time when I try to do that. Every time I try to do that, they manage to short. So if I do this, I want to say right in here. Yeah, there's 1.8. Oh, there's a 3.3. So there is a 3.3 from another source, because that one wasn't working. To check on that. We're still only drawing like 4 milliamps. So there is a 3.3 present, which must be coming from that RT5126. But the main one is not there. Right there's 3.3. Trying to remember something. This is not running. Which I think, let's check behind the back side of this Wi-Fi Bluetooth module. That's probably to be expected. I'm guessing that we have nothing there. But I'm thinking without the 3.3, you're not going to have that. Should be a 3.3 and a 1.8 on these capacitors around that Wi-Fi Bluetooth module. So let me look back here. We had a 3.3 going to the Southbridge. So there must be another output somewhere. Yeah, right there. So there is an output that's present. So this thing is making 3.3, but it's not being switched out here. The main 3.3 is not coming out. Which could be this chip is bad, but I got a feeling this chip is not being told to turn on that output. But I could be wrong. So did Southbridge or did RT5126? Well, I've been looking at this board for a while trying to figure out if I have a problem with a power supply or with firmware or what it is. And I think I've figured out what we have going on because I think I've seen this before. If you notice, we do have a battery installed, the clock backup battery, which means we should have the 32 kilohertz oscillator running. If we look right here on these test pads, like right there, we have nothing. And there's nothing on either one of these test pads, I don't believe. Absolutely nothing. And it should be running right now. So I think we just have a dead Southbridge. So let me get set up for that. Got to dig out my preheater, which is still in a box somewhere, and we'll get the Southbridge changed out. I think I do have one on hand, so we'll get it changed out and see if that oscillator starts running then. Alright, well, our new Southbridge is installed. My preheater is still cooling off in the background, so that's the noise you'll probably hear. I think we're ready to test this. I got my leads connected. I've cleaned it up, cleaned the flux off from under the Southbridge. I've done that. Let's see what we do now. 300 milliamps and back down. Perfect. Alright, perfect. Alright, I think we've done some good here. I think we put some life back into this board. Let me try to get it reassembled somewhat, and let's see if it will turn on for us. Well, maybe we're not quite ready to test it yet. I forgot that I noticed this earlier. That HDMI port's got to go. Well, after a new HDMI port has been installed, I think we're finally ready to see if this PS5 will turn on. I think I've got her in there properly. Fan is hooked up. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Is this ribbon cable good? I'm wondering about the connection of the button here. There's no Blu-ray drive, so it's not going to beep. Okay. And just in case there's a button problem, I can hook the Blu-ray drive up and see if that will turn it on. Hang on, let me see. I think I have a spare button board with the ribbon cable. Let me find it. All right, well, I have swapped in another button board just in case. What will that do? That's the eject. This is power. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, boy. All right, well, where are we on this EDM 020? That's the next morning. I have had a chance to sleep on this, and I'm not sure that my Southbridge was actually bad. Yesterday when I was working on it, at one point I wasn't recording, it actually beeped and turned on. It didn't stay on very long, it shut off, but at least it tried to turn on. So I think, you know, definitely our oscillator is now running, and the current draw on this looks normal sometimes, but the reason I think I may have been fooled was my scope probe. If you can see the switch, my scope probe was in the ×1 position, and in the ×1 position it will load down that crystal oscillator, so I need to be in ×10. So that was a mistake I made, but it is running now, but she still doesn't want to turn on reliably. And I want to show you if I can do this. I'm going to apply power. No, it looked like it did not start up that time. Current state of 5 milliamps. Nope. I can't get to do it. Now what was happening was the 3.3 volts, which you can get on pin 8 of the flash memory IC there, would start up, but then it would slowly die away. I'll see if I can catch it doing that again. It would slowly die away and then get unstable, the 3.3 volt, and the system would just shut off. So let's see if I can catch it. It needs to be just cool off a little while, and then it'll do it again, I think. Let's see if I can catch it doing it one more time. Turn on the power. Yeah, nope, it tried. It tried and shut down. Well, nothing. After repeatedly failing to get a reliable 3.3 volts, I decided to go ahead and swap out the RT5126. Luckily, I did have some new chips on hand. Alright, well, after replacing that RT5126, we are now getting a consistent 3.3 volts. Much better. Alright, so we replaced the RT5126. We have a much more stable 3.3 volt supply. What does she do now? That looks encouraging. Oh, yep, we're doing a storage check. I bet that Southbridge was good the whole time. I had a bad RT5126, which I had not seen one of those fail before, not that I can recall. Usually the capacitors around it will short or something, but the chip itself seems to hang on there pretty good. All right, this looks good though. Finally. All right, let me do some cleanup on this one. Because we do have some roach remnants. Let me clean that up. We'll put this back together and check it out. Well, this PS5 is fully reassembled. I've done a good bit of cleanup and disassembled it and washed the parts in the bathtub because it was rather nasty. It's a little rough around the edges, scratches. It's got a busted corner back there. But overall, she's working well. Works great, actually. Been running for hours, no problems. Got good video after we fixed the HDMI port. And the main fix, I believe, was replacing that RT5126. I'm still not sure if the Southbridge was good or not originally. Because when I replaced the Southbridge, the behavior changed. Still didn't turn on properly, but the behavior changed, which I thought was odd. So I'm going to keep that Southbridge. Maybe I'll mark it with a question mark. I don't know. I'm not sure. But definitely the RT5126 was not putting out a clean 3.3 volts. Well, hope you liked that. Thought it was somewhat interesting, educational, entertaining. Any of the above. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And I will see you in that very next repair. Bye for now.